This webinar is called the 7 Steps to Launch Your Coaching Program. Man, there's a lot of content to digest. Hopefully you get a better idea of what it takes to get into all of this work around launching a program and a product. I'm positive that you're not going to be able to take what I did, what I taught you on this webinar, and just implement it step by step, because I didn't teach it that way, because that doesn't exist. In my experience, that way doesn't exist. But hopefully I've taught you how to think at each one of these steps, and I've taught you what some of the concepts are and some of the mistakes to avoid, etc., so that you can implement this in whatever your next launch is. And some of you are going to want more help. And so what I want to tell you about is a mastermind that I have coming up. It's actually starting on, it looks like September 9th. So it's coming up pretty soon, where I'm going to lock arms with a very small number of coaches and help them through this launch, pace them through all of these steps, with my help and with my marketing director's help, Ola, who's with me, hand in hand with everything that we do together. She's writing a lot of the emails. She is putting up websites. She's editing videos. I mean, she probably does more than I do when it comes to the execution of the launch. I mean, I do all the content and the videos and stuff like that, but she's doing so much behind the scenes work, and she's developing a lot of the strategy. She's creating titles and prices, and just a lot of the brainstorming. And so her and I are actually going to be teaching this mastermind together. So it's not just me that you get, it's me and my marketing director that you would get if you choose to participate in this mastermind. And the mastermind is going on for 5 months. Right? Again, this is not a quick fix. I don't want to teach you how to get a webinar up and running in the next 28 days. Is that possible? Yes, but I'm afraid of skipping steps. I don't want to do that. I want to take our time. I want to do it the right way, not the fast way. And I want to do it foundationally. And I want you to learn as much as you possibly can during this process. So we've set it up to where there are 10 sessions every other week, and it's going to run all the way through the beginning of January or mid-January, right? So it's going to be 5 full months basically to build your launch. Now, if you want to go faster, you can. And if you don't necessarily need to launch or want to launch by that January date, that's fine too. So we're not going to drive, it's not going to be an assembly line where everybody's going to do the exact same thing on the exact same date necessarily. So you can go a little bit faster, you can take a little bit longer, but we're going to do it the right way. We're going to do it the foundational way. And there's not going to be any more than 10 businesses, if even that many at most. And when I say 10 businesses, if you have a marketing director, or you have a business partner, or you just have somebody else that you want to go through the program with you so that they can get the information from us and you don't have to go back and regurgitate it all, then that's totally fine. So you can have like 2 or 3 people representing the same business, but there's basically only 10 slots for businesses, right? And that allows us to give our time and our energy and a little bit more attention to each business, right? And the content focus is pretty much everything that we've talked about in this webinar, but it's the implementation of that. And we're going to open up a lot of our records. We're going to break down the last 3 launches that we did. The last 3 launches that we did were 25,000, 60,000, and 120,000 plus. Each one of those are a little bit more. And we want to show you what we did wrong. We want to show you what we did really well. The $60,000 launch, actually all 3 of those, the $60,000 launch and the $120,000 launch were in the same market. The $25,000 launch was in a bigger market than the other 2, right? And so there's all kinds of mistakes that we made. And I want to just open the books and show you what we did. And there's a bunch of formulas that you need to look at. There's conversions, and we want to use these as somewhat like, a teaching point for you to learn from and for you to help decide whatever it is that you're going to do in your launch. There's going to be one-on-one support on the calls. It's not just only going to be me teaching a concept and then everybody goes off and implements it. It's going to be me and Ola giving our feedback, live on the calls. And so you might be getting coached, or you might be hearing somebody else get coached, and it applies to you as well. So there's going to be a lot of one-on-one individual interaction within the group environment. And the value of the program, we put the value of the program easily at $9,000 plus. It's tough to actually put a tangible value on something like this. I mean, the way you got to look at it is, what if you did a launch and it generated $500 the first time, but the things that you learned, you implemented into launch number 2 when your community was a little bit bigger, and launch number 2 generated $2,000, and then launch number 3 generated $10,000, then launch number 4 generated 25, right? And launches generally get exponential like that if you continue to build your audience, So that's the way I invite you to think about it, is what's the value of what you could create in your market, and getting the book out of you or the coaching program out of you, or just getting in motion, right? What's the value of you, marketing and selling and starting to deliver your program, right? So the intentions of this mastermind, again, it's similar to the 7 steps that we went through. The intentions are for you to either create a signature product or program if you don't have it already, or to solidify one if you already have a product or program, or if you know that you have your signature product or program, then great. We'll just take a look at it, give any suggestions or feedback if we want. And if not, then you got that checked off the list. We're going to help you design and implement everything in the marketing campaign, set up the marketing funnels, identify whether you should do Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or YouTube or blog posts or whatever. We're basically, the way we're looking at it is, we are going to coach you in terms of what we would do if we were you, right? Now, we don't know that anything that any of us come up with is going to be a slam dunk 100% success. You never know that. We're marketers, right? In marketing, you never know that. Every single launch I do, I've never done a launch where it worked out exactly the way I thought it was going to work out. The $120,000 launch actually doubled what I thought. Actually, it was more than that. It was more than double what I thought it was going to do. And then the $60,000 launch was about half of what I thought it was going to do, right? We're in the marketing game. We're dealing with people. We're dealing with moving targets, right? So we would never say, I'm positive what's going to work in your weight loss market. I don't know. But we'll do what we'll coach you, we'll advise you, we'll pace you through, we'll facilitate what we would do, and we'll help you make the in-game adjustments all along the way. And really, that's where the value of the mastermind is. And it's not just from Ola and I. It's the support that you get from other people, the ideas that you get from other people. You guys might be helping each other do launches. I mean, just imagine if you were in this mastermind group and you automatically had, 9 other promotional partners. Now, I'm not going to, on behalf of everybody else, promise that everybody's going to launch your program, because it might not be a fit, but I'm sure you'll have at least a few. If nothing else, you're going to have encouragement. You're going to build your network. You're going to learn from what other people are doing, right? So you're going to be intimately connected to other people's launches as well. And you'll learn the behind the scenes from them, as well as anything, that we're doing. And we will launch, I would say, at least 2 programs during that time. I actually hadn't thought of this, but we will launch at least 2 programs during that time, and we'll open up everything that we're doing to you guys too. So you could watch our launch from literally behind the scenes while we're launching it. And I'll tell you what I think is going to work and what's not going to work, and you'll see if it works or is not going to work. So we're going to take this, this intimate mastermind and really go deep with the people that are involved, right? Let me go back. I forgot. I didn't go through all these bullets. Anyway, I guess I'll go back afterwards. So the investment options of this program, as I said, I think it's well over $9,000, especially if you think of the long-term value of the lessons that you'll learn and the support that you'll have and the new ideas and perspectives, etc., over the long term. Now, my intention is that you make well more than that through your next launch, right? And I'm pretty sure that we can help you make more than $1,500 going over this, all these steps over the course of 5 months with our help. I'm not going to promise that because I don't know where you are. I don't know if you have 0 people in your tribe or you have 50,000. I don't know. So we will never promise outcome goals for people with variables that we don't control. But that's certainly my intention, is that this is a program that, that there's a high level of return on investment. So if you pay for it all in full, it's $14.97. We do have pay plans. We have 2 pay plans. One of them is $547 times 3, and if that's not enough of a break for you, then we even have a 5-month payment plan of $347 times 5. So if you see the value here, if this is something that would help you, then hopefully you see this as a no-brainer. And if so, then great, jump in. There is a full pay bonus as well. When you pay in full, we'll give you an additional 60 minutes on the line, just one-on-one with you and us, Ola and myself. Outside of the mastermind call, we'll give you an additional one-on-one session, and you can use that whenever you want. So maybe you want to do it right away out of the gate, or maybe you want to wait till after the mastermind is completed so you get everything as a group that you can, and then you want us to help you with whatever the next step is, right? So you can use that however you want in the process. And if this is speaking to you, if this is something that you want to do, the website is elitecoachinguniversity.com/launch. elitecoachinguniversity.com /launch.